All right. Let's try this again. All right. Hello again, adventurers, and welcome to me switching to the correct screen for Traversing the Veil. Yes, this is one of my homebrew D&D games set in my weird homebrewed campaign setting, and the people below me are the people that apparently want seafood tonight. If we can base off of what we had last time. And for those of you that didn't tune in last time, we killed a crab and a
And it's
weird
gonna
tongue
be
monstrosity.
delicious.
and a
Yeah.
thing that smelled like a septic tank.
Yeah, Atiags are fun, folks. If you're a dungeon master and you want your players to hate you, let them meet the Atiag, which lives in garbage and smells like a septic tank.
Ew.
It's a cool creature. That's all I'm gonna say. It auto grapples you because its tongues have teeth on them, and that's a nightmare in and of itself.
Yeah, no.
Yes, multiple tongues, not
Yep.
just one.
It has these tentacles that are effectively tongues with teeth, and it has 3 of them.
And will poison you.
Yep, it will disease you. It's a poison
disease?
check, or it's a poison condition, but it's caused by a disease. They're
Oh,
infectious. They're disgusting things, and they're fun to throw at
So-
players.
So it's great that
So we got lucky?
yeah.
No, the only person the Atiak hit was the barbarian with the massive constitution score.
Ha!
So yes, luck.
I never said they were
Lucky.
smart.
Oh, I need my actual die. I remember you, D&D Beyond.
Yeah. So yes, announcements. As of right now, this weekend may be the final episode of Realms of the Wild. As long as schedules remain the way they are currently. So hopefully this Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Time, we will be having the beginning of the end of a 5.5-year long campaign. And if
Wow.
not, I might be playing Talisman again with the Rubs the Wild cast and just seeing how many other people I can piss off. Because the last time I played Talisman, I think I almost ruined a friendship with Jax. So that was fun. You were there was a situation where you had 2 monsters, and one was a spirit and one was a physical monster, which you would have fought individually, but you redrew and you got another physical monster, which you had to fight combined. And after it was
Oh.
over, I said, if you'd kept
I
the spirit,
remember.
you would have fought them individually.
That's
Uh,
right. Because you could have told me that before I went and fought them together. But no, the person who knows all the rules wanted to win.
Well, I thought you saw that they were leaving them apart. And
I
then you
didn't know
got
what
the
that
other one.
meant. I thought it was just like you do in order. I don't know.
I tried to help these people. I really did. Do we have
says
someone
you
that got
did.
close to winning? I think Elias was doing pretty well.
I remember he was doing
He
pretty good.
was. Yeah, he got to the center. I remember that.
Yeah.
I just remember you playing the Karen Witch Hunter.
Yes. I was the witch hunter. That was a fun one.
I was the proprietress, right?
Yeah,
I think
I
so.
swear, because I'm trying to read the little script on the windows. It's like, I swear that says proprietress, and that's an actual word. I looked it up.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Proprietress is the feminine version of proprietor, which is basically the owner of an establishment.
Property owner. Yep.
So, yeah. Fun fact, there is an tabletop RPG based on the board game called Talisman Adventures. And I did a video on my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/TrainerJody, where I talked about the system and how interesting it is. And today, I actually released my first character build for it, where I built an undead druid, because that's a thing. And they can turn dead bodies into pets and partially transform into creatures. Because that's a thing. And then one of their enduring spells is called Set Ablaze or something like that. It's literally you make something burst into flames, and if a creature happens to be wearing it, they just take fire damage until you turn it off. Because fire is the answer to everything. So, yes, check out that stuff. I'm kind of proud of the stuff that I make on my YouTube channel. Otherwise, yeah, if anyone's wondering and we're worrying about the whole D&D community after a bunch of misinformation, it's over, it's done with. I made a bunch of videos about it. I'm not going to talk about it here because too many people believed lies about it. But it's over, it's done with, and I have no problem sticking with Dungeons and Dragons for this and my other campaigns. Nor was I planning on changing them, but there was always this chance that the blatant lies might have magically been true. But that's over, that's done with. If you want to bring it up in chat, I will delete the comments because I just don't want the drama anymore.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Banhammer.
Well,
I don't think I would ever ban anybody from it unless they were like repeatedly doing it, but I can delete comments. Like that's super easy. And I don't have to ban anybody for that. I just get rid of comments.
Yep.
Elias does that every so often when you start doing things like, usually it's Imp. If Amanda and I are in the same chat, like when Elias is streaming and Amanda and I are there, we'll start talking about Ilya, just to piss off Elias. If you don't know who Ilya is, play Twilight Princess. It's a great Zelda game. And there's a character in there named Ilya who is either the greatest character ever created for Zelda or pointless. Might be both.
I'm on that pointless boat.
Did you play Twilight Princess? I can't remember if that was the one that
on stream.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was that or Wind Waker that you played.
Haven't played Wind Waker.
Or not Wind Waker. What's the Skyward Sword? That was the one that came out recently.
Skyward Sword was going to be next, but I never got around to actually playing it.
I am, I think, a third of the way done with the game, and I need to finish it because I work for Zelda Universe. I think it's required by law. If you find interesting, other than Skyward Sword, which I never played because I just never had, I didn't have it on the Wii, and now motion controls are just a bad idea. And Wind Waker are the only two like mainline Zeldas I hadn't played. And Twilight Princess I still haven't beaten, but I own it a couple different ways.
I never played. I started Skyward Sword, but I never finished it. I've never played Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask is fun. I liked Majora's Mask a little bit better than Ocarina of Time. The only thing that I didn't like about it. Well, see, a lot of the rough parts of Ocarina of Time are fixed. Like, control-wise and everything are just fixed in Majora's Mask. But the story is significantly better in Ocarina of Time. The Majora's Mask story is interesting but weird. And the 3-day mechanic gets old really, really quick. But the transformation thing is my favorite. I absolutely love using Mask to turn into Gorons and Zora. Like, my favorite form was the Zora form. Because you get all shocky and then you throw your fin blades. You get to swim. It was awesome.
I saw that recently. That's weird.
It is really a lot of fun. If you've got the Switch expansion pass, they have Majora's Mask on there, and it's great. And I finally, because you can't get the official N64 controller anywhere unless you want to pay $400 for it. But who is it? Retro Fighters released this, and it's wonderful and it's amazing and it works with your Switch. And it has C buttons. Like, that's the only reason I want, because I have like 4 different controllers that I keep here. But you need the C buttons for Nintendo games, for N64.
Yeah.
So now I have something I can use the C buttons. And the first thing I did was I played Star Fox, because when we got our N64, we got Star Fox 64 because it came with a Rumble Pack, and we got Mario Kart 64 because my mom loved Mario Kart. and we put in Star Fox first. And I can vividly remember my mother playing the game, and the first time her ship got shot, and the Rumble Pack. Which if you never played with an original Rumble Pack for the N64, it is not. It is not the vibration that you get on like your Xbox controller now, where it's kind of like bzzz. No, the entire controller would jump out of your hands and slap you in the face. Like, it was the most obnoxious rumble that has ever existed ever.
And the sound just sounded like it was all like breaking apart every single time.
Every time it was like he was like, did I hurt something? And so watching my mom play Star Fox, she's like, ooh, ooh. And she always turned the controller because it makes it work better.
It does. 100% it does.
And so, yeah, I'm watching
Lean into it with the cars.
And so she gets hit, and I could see her in my mind going, whoa, and almost dropping the controller. Because we'd never, like, Rumble didn't exist in video games until the N64. They were the first people that went, hey, maybe we could just put a giant vibrator on the bottom of your controller and then do stuff with it.
Oh.
And now I've ruined Chex's childhood.
I rolled it.
So anyway, no, it's man, good stuff. I am 100% a Zelda fanatic. So, that being said, I think it's time for us to return to traversing the veil. Having explored the northern forest, dealt with some strange ape-like creatures, the party eventually made their way to their initial goal, the Mushroom Forest. As they got there, the first thing that they noticed is the air itself smelled sweet. And there seemed to be almost a constant rainfall from dew collecting on the large mushroom trees and slowly filtering its way down. They discovered rather quickly that the dew itself was the source of the sweetness in the air. Arai started exploring a little bit, taking a few samples, discovered that the mushrooms themselves had a unique flavor to them. And as they explored the mushroom forest more, they eventually started discovering these strange rock-like structures on the otherwise kind of spongy floor that seemed to have brightly colored stones embedded in them. They eventually started trying to find one that they could attempt to mine to find out if these were precious stones or simply colored glass or something. Unfortunately, what they found was an Utyug living in the corpses of creatures that apparently used these stones as part of their shells. While they were battling it, one of these strange crustaceans rose from the ground and attacked them as well. But the party was victorious, harvesting for themselves some pieces of the Utyug and a little bit of this crustacean for proof and payment. And now, the party needs to decide whether it wants to venture further into the forest or return for their first payday.
But before that, we get to eat jambalaya.
Yes, and then then for some odd reason, the strange dude with a giant oar and a massive pot goes, put that on a cracker. We're going to boil it. If you guys have no idea who Stale Cracker is, you have missed out. And you need to watch this amazing Cajun cook food for apparently all of Louisiana. Because he cooks things in like 400-gallon bowls and like, oh, he's amazing. And he says things like, gotta put your onions in there. He has the most amazing accent ever. Stale Cracker, everybody. We're not sponsored by him. He's just a cool guy. By the way, Stale Cracker, if you ever watch this stuff, you are welcome to join us. And you're welcome to cook for me anytime
And bring
you want.
food.
I was going to say, if you bring us food, we'll be even happier. Despite the fact that we live literally all over the country. So if you make food and find a way to get it to all of us, that'd be even more impressive.
He makes enough.
Also, for anyone that wonders why he cooks so much, apparently, like, a lot of the stuff he does is he cooks for, like, charity events. So he's also just a wonderful person. But anyway, his catchphrase, put that on a cracker. And he does. He puts things on crackers and then eats them. And all the food he makes looks delicious. It's not fair. Also, I live in Wisconsin, where Cajun is a seasoning and it's bland. Can't get good Cajun food up here. It's not fair.
Oh, we have Cajun all the time. We have that Zatarans.
Yeah, them Zatarans. That really, gets you in the back of the mouth there, Yoder, hey?
Yader, hey.
Oh god.
Everyone thinks that's what Wisconsinites sound like. 100%. That's a UP. That is an actual phrase that you will hear in Upper Peninsula, Michigan.
What does yader, hey mean?
Yader, hey. That's what you say when you're like,
yader, hey.
Yader, hey. That's there's the thing over there, and I was like, Yader, hey. We better go get that. But eventually you guys are going to meet a UPer in this game. It's just going to be, hey, so I was making these magic potions, and I got to say, they were a whoo. I had to go have me just a little bit of the drink so that I didn't mix up the potions, and oh my. But, we've just lost the Reggie, which is always fun.
I'm ready now.
You are
Reggie's
Reggie.
back.
Look at me. I am the Reggie now. I am the Reggie now. So, enjoying yourself, Reggie?
Yes,
That is-
I'm having a great time. Thank you for asking.
So, growing up mostly in Wisconsin, I will tell you, the vast majority of us do not sound like that in any way, shape, or form. But I did have a friend in middle school who sounded exactly like that. And he did say Yotterhey every so often, and he did that as a joke. Because
That's
he
how
knew...
everyone thinks. That's how everyone thinks that Canadians say a boot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Up them, they're Canadians there. Yeah.
Oh, Canadians.
Anyway, it's a really fun accent, despite the fact that it's not real. It is almost as real as the generic Glaswegian dwarf accent. Where, yes, I'm sure if you go around Glasgow long enough, you will find someone who is drunk enough to go, "Oh, aye! Now it's time for us to go and forge a sword!" But the vast majority of Scotsmen sound like Ewan McGregor. A lot more than they do
Gordon
that.
Ramsay.
Yeah, Gordon Ramsay is Scottish. Nobody has ever gone, "Ooh, do you want to play a dwarf?" Though, to be perfectly honest, he's a Scotsman that grew up in England and then learned to cook in France. So
Yes, he
his
did.
accent doesn't count for anywhere. Because it is such a conglomeration of nonsense.
So it's like he's
Yeah.
from Wales.
No, the Welsh accent is pretty. I love the Welsh accent.
I do too, but apparently it's a conglomeration of different accents, and anyone from Europe, if they don't recognize your accent, they'll ask you if you're
Like,
from
"You
Wales because they
Welsh?"
can't understand where it's from. I used to get that all the time.
Yeah, oh man, for me, that's what Portuguese sounds like to me. Because I can read most romantic languages because I took French in high school and then in college. And I can't speak most of it because I just can't remember what the words are. But if I see them written down, I can remember most of them. So I can read most romantic languages because they use most of the same words. They just pronounce them differently. And Spanish, for some odd reason, adds a couple tenses because Spanish.
Like French.
No, French has just decides to not pronounce words or letters, and there's no
Yes.
rhyme or reason as to why. But they have the same number of tenses as Italian and I believe Portuguese. Spanish, for whatever reason, just has 2 extra tenses. And like 2 of the tenses I learned in French are literary tenses where you only use them when you're writing, which to me seems pointless, but it's French. So welcome to pointless. France, you take all the letters in a word, put them in a bag, pull random ones out, and then decide we aren't going to pronounce these, and then pick another one and go, well, you know how this is normally pronounced? We're going to pronounce it as a completely different letter, just because we
And then they're
can.
And then they're like, but you know what? We're also going to exhibit to throw off the rest of the entire world. Final consonant deletion. We won't just say the end of our words.
So anyway, Portuguese to me, because I can hear and identify any romantic language but Portuguese. Portuguese sounds like nonsense to me. And I don't know
And that's
why.
how you know it's Portuguese.
Well, it's weird because every single time I hear it, I go, "Is it? No, it's not Italian." Every single time, I'm like, "What language is this?" And I go through the process of elimination, and for whatever reason, Portuguese just never pops into my brain. It's a weird language. Languages are fun, folks. You should learn a new language. They're
There was
great.
a
If you'd like to know more about languages,
Would you like to know more?
show.
How much time do we have?
TV movie called The Librarian. This was before it got turned into a series.
Mhm.
He thought he had found a lost village, and people were talking like, "Oh, I have to break this down." He's using his big librarian brain to like, I can do this, and like, they cut to it a little bit later. It's like, "Oh, it's Portuguese. I was just overthinking it."
No. Was it Jax?
X-Bar Theory!
We're in during Realms last week because I actually went back and I watched. Fun fact about my brain and your brain off of benzos after they've been on them for 2 years. I actually don't remember running the last session we had for Realms, so I went back and rewatched it, and we brought up that there is a version of Wordle that uses the International Phonetic Alphabet.
Oh, I forgot about that!
And
I
Chax
play
reacted
Wordle.
like this.
Apparently, I missed that because I definitely would remember Chax lighting up like the 4th of July.
She really, really liked it. Because the reason I brought it up, a buddy of mine had another. I met another speech language something that's similar to what Chax does, and she introduced him to it because he's a voice actor, and so he actually as part because he got a degree in it. And as part of his training, not only did he have to learn International Phonetic Alphabet, but they would like play him random clippings of people talking in different accents, and he would have to write down all the sounds in IPA.
Yep, which is much easier than what you are guessing, or what you were thinking. Okay, I am already kind of upset at this.
Why?
Just looking at it. Okay, so they spelled Wordle
Mm-hmm.
like this. See that backwards E?
Mm-hmm.
The back reverse epsilon?
Yeah.
That's an eh sound. Guess what Wordle has in it? What sound?
It's not an eh. Is that
So it should be like this. That bottom one. That shows that it is a stressed R sound. I'm already not happy with it,
this is
but
my,
I'm really excited to play.
my favorite? My favorite thing in the world is watching Chax get like really geeky about language because language is really, really fascinating, guys. And IPA, everyone should learn a little bit of IPA. I learned IPA due to a tyrannical choir director, and it pissed me off because we learned how to read IPA. So because we sang in German, we sang in Russian, we sang in a bunch of different foreign languages. Spanish, I think, was one of them. And so we had to learn how these words were supposed to be pronounced, and then we sang them. And here's a fun fact about singing. The reason people lose their accent when they sing is proper singing technique. You don't use what are called non-pure vowels. Like all the vowels you pronounce have to be pure. meaning no diphthongs, no weird things that are put in like the back of your or pronouncing like the back of your throat or out of the top of your nose or anything. All those fun things that make all these different accents fun, all of them go away because they will wreck your vocal cords if you sing them like that too long. So we had to learn all this IPA, and then we never used it because all we ever used were the 5 pure vowels, and it annoyed the hell out of me. But I did learn how to pronounce Russian for a little bit. Is that how it's supposed to be?
Yes. And it's using a diacritic, and the game doesn't have diacritics. You can't even enter the diacritics to show, like, that's showing the primary stress pattern. Like, you can't type in diacritics here. And it gave it to you in the regular... Sorry.
What I'm hearing is this is what you're going to be playing while we're waiting to play D&D.
Yes.
It's interesting stuff. It really, really is. And from someone that used to study accents and things like that, who never learned how to translate them to IPA, because IPA was that evil thing from choir in my brain. So I just learned how to pronounce things.
You're writing in code.
It's evil, folks. It's absolutely evil what this choir
No,
director
if you want to, yeah, it sounds like it. But if you want to feel like a spy, you guys, learn IPA. And if you want to know how to learn IPA, I have a workbook on Teachers Pay Teachers. Not saying, not promoting, but it's there and it's full of puns. It's really funny. Anyway.
Who would have thought Jax would write something with a lot of puns in it?
It's really geeky. It's really dorky. But it works.
So anyway, back to Dungeons and Dragons. So, you guys look over and you see Reggie seems to be more attentive than he has been for the past 2 hours. And you think he might interact this time. But in addition to that, by the way, anytime you miss a session, it is always... Oh, Reggie, what do you think about this? Reggie seems like he's lost in thought, and probably will be for about 2 hours. Reggie is tooting his violin over and over again.
You have
he
like
just
5
can't seem to get that semitone right perfect.
That sounds about right.
You have like 5 things that you say.
Are.
You have like 5 things that you say on NPC rotation every time you click on someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Eventually you hear, "Stop touching me!"
There's a snake in my boot.
Zug zug. Anyway, so the Atiag itself, now that it is dead, and you guys have harvested the bits that you wanted to from it, if you thought it smelled bad before, it seems that this particular creature, as soon as it is dead, starts decomposing instantly. And so the scent of it has become even more overpowering and overwhelming than it was during the combat. The crustacean-like creature, again, you guys were able to discover they were kind of like, I believe it's hermit crabs, where they find items and basically turn them into a home and kind of part of their shell. And that's what these large stones seem to be, kind of a calcification combination of rock and stuff like that. But they're very, very, the stone itself is extremely strong. Otherwise, your original plan when you came in was you guys were kind of heading towards the middle of the forest, because you guys saw that there's a river that cuts through it. So if you want to continue on that path, you can. Obviously, it is you have an entire mushroom forest here, so if you want to go exploring in other directions, you can.
Weren't we planning on turning around?
That is entirely up to you guys.
I think we were planning on turning around, but that'll be like, if we do, it'll be like the next day. Because I think it would be the middle of the night if we wouldn't even get.
Right now, to get to the forest itself, will take you guys the better part of a day and a half. So to get from the edge of the forest back out, you're looking at minimum of probably 2 days because it's now mid-ish day, and you're already partially, you're probably about a half day's journey into the forest at this point. So if you guys want to turn around, it's effectively you'll be back to the settlement in about 2 days. Otherwise, you can continue through the forest. On the other side of the forest, there's kind of a field of crystalline stuff. To the south, there's a swamp area. To the southeast, there's this kind of rocky area with a bunch of caves and things like that, and there's a mountain down there. Then obviously to the north, there's the forest and the waterfall and everything. So there's plenty of places for you guys to explore.
And I know, like, we're still in the general area, like, as big as this place is, and it's still on the rise. We may or may not have within a safety perimeter of time.
Yeah, you said like 2 weeks or so.
Yeah, as of right now, the isle itself is still rising out of the Vale. So
it's gonna be a while.
At the bottom here, where you guys can see all the clouds are coming up, that's literally still beneath the Vale. So bare minimum, it is expected that it will fully come to the top of the Vale before it starts descending again. And
although true to be told, we still don't know how tall this thing is going to get.
Yeah. So anyway, what would you all like to do? If you'd like to push on, camp next to the septic tank you are currently next to, you're welcome to do that.
I mean, we'd likely be safe because nothing would want to get near us.
Well, safe from animals, not from disease.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
If we want to push it, I would suggest like we could either go southwest or we could go northwest. I think no matter what, we're going to be camping.
Mm-hmm. But are we going to camp and go back and sell what we have, or are we going to keep carrying stuff? Because from what I remember, the crab shell was fairly big.
Easily 50 or 60 pounds.
I would also remind people that whatever we've been taking some stuff for ourselves, which is okay, but the majority of what we are claiming will be turned in.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, we're not going to have, like, we're not just showing it for evidence, right, Jody? We're turning it over.
Anything that you use as evidence, you have to give to them.
Yeah.
But
we're giving it up. We're giving it up.
Part of your charter is effectively, if you want to take more than
Yeah.
evidence, you're allowed to keep it.
Yeah.
But anything you use for evidence, they keep.
Yeah.
How hard is this shell?
To be perfectly honest, the only thing you know right now is
it dulled my utility knife,
and he couldn't get through it with his knife. If you guys want to experiment and try and figure out exactly how hard it is, you can.
I do.
Quick question. Aside from fighting the, what was it called again? An Otyug?
Otyug.
A disgusting septic tank.
Septic tank with a tongue.
I have a very...
Three tongues.
I have a very colorful description for how bad it smells. Imagine if a butthole were cleaned with a dirtier butthole.
Ew.
I just want to know, did we ever...
And a dead rat.
Did all of us take a long rest last session?
We did.
Oh, yep. Thank God. Okay.
Can we take another long rest? Actually, no, I'm fine.
Because I have no spell slots left.
Yeah, you guys had...
we did.
At the beginning of the last session, you guys...
We did,
had a nap and then woke up a little bit late because you had to deal with the monkeys, or the apes.
Yeah.
So you found out difference between monkeys and apes. Apes have long arms, short bodies, and no tails, and tend to be bigger.
Yep.
But they are delicious.
Apes?
So says Arai.
Not to say.
No, piss off, PETA. I dare you. Go for it.
And
Do
there's
it.
a lot of animals that I'm more than happy to eat. Apes, not one of them.
If you're in the middle of nowhere and we're exploring the vanishing,
So,
I will say this part and parcel of adventure is just like, so can you eat it?
I mean, you don't find out until somebody tries.
I've had people post that question more than once about myconids in a D&D
I mean,
game.
somebody once had to go, hey, look at that rotting log there. Do you guys think those things that have just kind of grown off of it, that are obviously destroying the tree, do you guys think those would taste good? Like, somebody had to ask
Ew.
that. And that's how we started eating mushrooms.
Oh.
It's all probably also a lot of people learn to kiss the sky.
I mean, there are different types of mushrooms that grow in different areas. Like, there are mushrooms that still grow on live trees. It's not necessarily that it's dead and decaying.
Yes, but mushrooms are a form of decay.
Mhm.
I realize that, but think about back in the day. Oh, truffles.
Well, I hope
Okay.
you packed your bags, boy, because you're going on a trip.
It's another thing where you things like sea urchins, which are a delicacy in some
Oh,
place.
they're so good.
Who would have thought you see it? Oh, look, a giant spiky thing that's poisonous. I wonder what it tastes like.
You know what? It tastes like I'm not starving. That's
Apparently,
what it
if
tastes like.
if you prepare them incorrectly, it'll kill you. But if you
Yes.
prepare them correctly, apparently
They're
they're very
so
good.
good. They're amazing. Like, oh, so buttery and smooth and rich, and like the umami flavor is in there. It's just,
Or like lobster. Lobster's another one that's always driven me nuts. It's like, hey, do you want to eat this giant underwater cockroach?
Remember, originally eating things like crabs and lobsters lobsters were prison food.
Yeah, that is the greatest grift ever, folks. if you think capitalism is bad now, somebody took prison food and went, you know what, we can probably
'Cause they're-
sell this to rich people that aren't smart enough to realize it's really easy to get this.
Because the reason was they said it could be like crabs and lobsters and such because they're bottom feeders,
Mm-hmm.
and so they say like, yeah, feed it to prisoners. I guess someone somewhere, I don't know the history of it, figured like, yeah, we can.
Well, it's because they taste good. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't let them eat horrible, disgusting stuff, you actually keep them eating mostly decent stuff. Lobster is tasty.
I mean, I always felt
admittedly,
like
there are.
I always felt you're tasting more of the butter and the lemon more than anything else for me. Like, I'm not saying there isn't a taste, but I'm just like,
I don't.
A majority of people eat it for the butter and the lemon, I think.
Well,
It's
yeah,
very
but things like lobster bisque, I'm a
Good.
really big fan of lobster bisques, which, when it's done correctly, tastes like lobster. It's, yes, full of butter and cream, but it tastes really good. I like it.
See, I'm not a big like lobster or crab person myself, but give me some mussels
Mussel.
or some oysters.
Crawfish boil. Oh, amazing
I'm
stuff.
not a big crawfish fan.
It is the weirdest thing in the world to eat them because they look like tiny little lobsters, and you have to like kind of pick them apart, and like the best part is you suck out the stuff from the head and that. So it seems gross, but when they're cooked correctly, like an actual good crawfish boil, it is amazing.
Because they're sweet. All right, sorry. Got us off
Catfish is
track
another
again.
one where
Catfish is disgusting.
Catfish
Catfish
is
will always taste
amazing.
like sewer.
you have
Catfish
to-
will always
Wait.
taste like you're licking the side of an unwashed fish tank.
I don't know where you've been eating.
Always.
you
I don't know
have
where
to
you've been
clean
eating.
your
Like
I've had
tilapia.
catfish. You have
I've
to
had
clean
great.
your catfish.
I've had like high end catfish, and I've had like generic regular catfish.
There's no
And-
high-end catfish.
Well, well prepared catfish.
I
Well,
had
okay, fine,
high-end
okay.
Pop-Tarts, and let me tell you.
I'm gonna say like,
Hey! Artisanal Pop Tarts are amazing. Don't you knock on my artisanal Pop Tarts.
Isn't that toaster strudel?
Toaster strudels.
Those are yum.
Trying to think
But-
who makes toaster strudel to ask him to sponsor us.
Pillsbury?
Pillsbury, sure.
I think so.
General
But
Mills.
no,
Who knows?
Catfish, no matter how good the catfish is, whoever I'm eating with is saying this is amazing catfish. It tastes like you're licking the side of an unclean fish tank.
I've had
Love
great
catfish.
catfish fry.
It's like you're sucking on a rock from the bottom of a murky pond.
How did we
Catfish
get
po'
here?
boy? We were talking about eating crabs because you guys killed a crustacean when you were fighting the septic tank with tongues.
Now we're on the fish of septic.
I think we've officially made
Septic
Mad
fish.
Spike sick. I didn't realize Mad Spike has a sick emote.
'Cause
Sick as in
it's
blood,
so
not sick as in sick.
Yeah.
Mad Spike, you should get a sick emote as well. But so anyway, what do you guys want to do? Because I believe
I
you
want
guys
catfish
have
now.
harvested. Yeah, you guys have harvested the rock part,
Giant,
but the-
delicious
the
crab.
the rest of the crustacean is still there if you guys want to try and if you want to effectively turn it into rations, you can. Preserving shellfish is a much more complicated process than it is to preserve like beef and that, but it's possible to do. You
Except
salt
this
it.
isn't really aquatic. We're in the middle of a mushroom place, so we don't know where they're. Maybe they're coming from the river. I don't know.
Well, I mean, came out of the ground.
Yeah.
And you guys have
Still
noticed that the ground
dry
itself
seafood.
is spongy. If you want to kind of examine where it came out of the ground, you can do that too. But it's
Also-
entirely up to you.
Didn't realize. I don't think that was mentioned last time that it came out of other crabs' bodies.
Yeah, what it was is you guys
It was just a hole that we punctured.
And the gross air came up and
Exactly.
what it was is you guys found a bunch of those things in a big mound,
Yeah.
and you kind of cut
Yeah.
the mound open, and that was where it was living. But yeah, it was basically the rotten smell that you smelled was rotten. These crustacean things. That's one of the reasons it smelled so bad.
So,
Rotten seafood, another really fun spell. Almost as bad as rotten potatoes.
Wow.
I had somebody when I worked at a grocery store as a cashier, I had somebody put a bag of rotten potatoes on my belt without realizing that they were rotten. And they were rotten enough
oh no.
that they were like liquid. Some of them were like liquid. So it gets on there and I start smelling like you will never forget the smell of rotten potatoes ever. It is burned into my scent memory. And I remember picking it up and seeing just this pool of whitish gray slime on my belt. And I went, sir, I don't think you want to buy this. Let me get you another bag. And I bagged it and I cleaned that belt like 7 times and it smelled like that for a week. It sucks so
Yuck.
bad.
Yuck.
The joys of retail. We had somebody return milk once. Unopened.
Oh no.
I don't know why they returned it.
Oh.
Past
It-
the expiration date.
Nope. It was too white.
Oh.
I am not
That sounds
kidding.
retail.
I was the cashier. I was on the register right next to customer service. This guy comes in. I just wanted to let you guys know that the milk is just a little too white. I'm sorry. Well, the milk is just a little bit too light.
What the heck did he want it to be? Eggshell?
Well, they said we could give you chocolate milk. That wouldn't be white at all. No, I just wanted to let you guys know. Thank you, sir. Do you want to return it? You know what? I don't think so. Thank you very much. We appreciate your business. Somehow.
this
weird.
milk. It's so white.
Was he expecting like?
I really want to listen to some Barry Manilow. So you should take
Was-
this
My
back.
milk can't dance.
Were they expecting like cream or like unprocessed milk? Because that's not white.
Ugh.
I mean, even if you get like non-pasteurized, unprocessed milk, it's mostly white.
It is mostly white,
Like you won't.
but
Most people won't be able to tell it's not white unless you have it next to something that is. Like it's not
Okay.
a massive color change.
here's another question.
Yeah, it is a
Was-
massive taste change though.
Well, yeah.
So, the bottle itself, was it actually one of the clear ones, or was it a white bottle?
It was clear. That was my first guess. Was like, Wait a minute. Do we? Because we had like the organic stuff comes in a white
Bottle.
white bottle that you can't see
Yeah.
through. The regular
Yeah.
stuff comes in that kind of opaque, kind of clear thing.
So I say that would have been perfect.
It would have been really, really funny. But this was a 20-minute. Like this wasn't even like a thank you. This is a 20-minute conversation that I only heard parts of because I had customers come through my line at the time, and so I had to pretend to care what the customers thought when I was trying to figure out why this dude didn't like his white milk. And it was like
Wonder what
skim milk
got into
too.
his other milk. Oh,
And I'm like, how do you? Were you expecting it to
that's
be clear?
all it
Maybe
is.
because skim milk.
Pretty much
This
is.
is skim milk. At
Super.
that point, you're drinking white water. Like it's what it is.
I drink skim milk, and I have never caught so much shit in my life as in like when my brother like, no, 2% minimum.
I like if you can drink skim
You're
milk,
drinking
all the power
water.
to you. It's perfectly fine. But like I used to back when I could drink milk. I drank whole milk, which was not
Yeah.
good for me. But I mean, there were good things about it, but it wasn't great for me to be drinking that much fat because I would go through like a gallon every couple of days. I just drink milk all the time. I loved it. Maybe that's why I'm 6'4". I don't know.
Maybe that's why I'm 5'10", because I love milk. My mom used to have we for some reason we always got 2%, and then at some point we got whole milk, and then we went back to 2%, and it was like, ugh.
Whole milk is crazy expensive.
It's about the same price.
When I was buying milk, it was like 50 cents or like 79 cents cheaper to get 2%. And to go from 2% to, or sometimes it's almost $1, to go from 2% down to 1% or skim milk was like 10 cents each.
I think we got it on Wick.
Oh, well, yeah, then WIC
So
prices don't actually matter.
yeah,
WIC, another wonderful, wonderful program that so many people don't realize exists.
yes, yes.
It's also remarkably complicated and annoying because again, working at a grocery store, I had to deal with WIC all the time. And this was, nowadays, they have awesome cards that automatically do everything. Back then, you had WIC checks. And WIC checks were a pain in the ass because you had to write things in manually. You had to key it in kind of like a check, but it didn't work exactly like a check. And then it had to scan it and had to print over it. And if your printer wasn't working the way it was supposed to, then you'd have to rescan it. And it was this nightmare of a thing. And you had to put the WIC stuff separately because the computer sometimes couldn't tell what was WIC and what was non-WIC. And there are these massively crazy rules for what WIC works for. But when it works, it's a wonderful program for mothers. Sorry. Continue. I have strong feelings about WIC.
I can tell. No, I was going to make a stupid comment, but there we go. We'll just go. We have Imp. We have.
So I'm going to try this
I
one
was
more
just
time.
looking at the time. All right.
You are next to a dying septic system. What do you want to do?
Move away and then test the hardness of the shell.
Okay.
Oh.
So
And
guys,
possibly take other parts of the crab too.
so if you want to take other parts of the crab,
I think we did a
somebody needs to
survival
roll me
roll
a
on that.
survival check.
I did.
I think that's what we did last time to get the
I
shell.
scored. Yeah, I got really high.
So that was to get the shell
Feel
itself.
like
If you want to harvest actual food from it,
Oh, okay.
I just need another survival check from anybody.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm
18.
Okay, 18
Yeah.
is more than enough. So yeah, you guys don't have the stuff you need with you to be able to preserve this, but you effectively have the equivalent of about 6 rations worth of food that needs to be eaten probably within the next day or so.
Well, we just cook it up tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Go and camp somewhere, eat some delicious things.
Have some Krabby Patties.
But so I don't just want to take the shell. I want to take something from the crab itself to like show that as proof because I do want to test to see how.
I believe you guys took claws for proof.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
Yeah. So
And delicious meat.
yes. I will say, if you want to turn in the claws as proof, you can't eat them.
Yeah.
'Cause remember what we got? Like, unless you guys got the extra stuff, because I have written down as proof is the carapace and a portion of the mouth.
Oh, that's of the. Hmm.
That was the
Um,
Otyug that you
Yep.
got that from. So
Oh,
Yeah.
We can
okay.
crack open the bottom and get the meat out, because otherwise the meat will start to rot and smell. So
Sure,
we're
if you
doing
wanna-
them a favor.
if you wanna,
Oh.
that will be a conversation with the person paying you. So it takes you guys a good hour to get to a point where you no longer are kind of overpowered by this smell. And something that you guys find kind of interesting as you're going is you don't see another one of these kind of plates for the hour that you are traveling, but you do see kind of dug up bits of ground every so often.
Maybe the other party?
Possibly.
People out here?
Or the things moved.
Or the things moved? How
Oh.
big are these?
They're
Curious.
medium-sized creatures, so they're decent size.
Okay, so things moved.
That's how you guys are able to get effectively 6 portions of rations out of a single creature. It's a decent size.
I wasn't certain, since you said bare areas, if it was like another party who was clearing some of the
It's
area for their
theoretically
samples,
possible,
or...
but if anyone wants to roll, you just a straight up intelligence check to try and figure out what
Okay.
made them, you can.
Not a rye.
19.
19.
Cool. Between the two of you, yeah, you don't see any kind of outside tool marks on any of these. So whatever moved from them would have had to come from under the ground. So it makes sense to you guys that it was probably these crustacean creatures leaving. So eventually, again, about an hour away, you finally get to the point where you're not kind of overwhelmed by this scent of decay and rot. How would you like to test this shell? Arai.
By asking Crexney, who sadly isn't here. Oh, I thought
He's off in the corner.
Um,
Every so often we hear, "Sharpshooter!" Oh, God!
Every so often, you hear a yelp of surprise from Ogun. It's like, I'll fix it.
I'm not certain, so I guess I'm gonna hold on to it for now.
Okay. So traveling another hour again, the kind of natural sweet scent of the forest is starting to come back. You guys do notice that being that close to the creature for that long did kind of dull your sense of smell a little bit, just from kind of the overwhelmingness, and you're just barely now starting to get kind of the more subtleties of your scent back.
Cast some prestidigitation on the wreck and just
Smegwick is just constantly. The interesting thing about this.
That's all you see is him walking, going like this.
yeah.
The interesting thing about the
I don't give a shit. I'm smelling lavender. Fuck you.
The Otyug is, despite your prestidigitation, this stench is so powerful that your prestidigitation would only work.
It took like
for,
5 times on her eye.
I mean,
That was
the
it?
scent
Wow,
of the
that's
air
nice.
around it,
Yeah.
your prestidigitation would only last or block
Yeah.
out the scent for like 6 seconds to 6 to 12 seconds. So it was basically you had to kind of constantly concentrate on prestidigitation to keep from smelling everything.
So are we now, because we're carrying a piece of this monster, do we now smell?
It's in the bag, I would imagine.
Does the bag now smell?
Yeah, I mean, if
Oh, no.
you're carrying around a piece of it, it's going to smell bad. It doesn't smell quite as bad as the creature itself, because
Wasn't it in a bag of holding?
if you have it in a bag of holding, that bag of holding has its own air supply,
Yeah.
so you wouldn't smell it in a bag of holding.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I thought we were carrying it in.
So yeah, if you have it in a bag of holding, then you don't smell it.
Okay, perfect. So I was about to say, if we smell like it, we're probably going to be scaring other creatures away.
There you
And
go.
our whole
Any-
point is to go and find these creatures, so we might as well just turn back.
Anytime you open the bag of holding, you will get a wonderful scent, and anything that's inside the bag of holding with it is probably going to smell great. But
I thought they were each in their own little thing, because like you could hypothetically have like all these different things and not
you
run
can.
into
It's
another.
all the same, effectively same extra dimensional space. And it does
Okay.
have a limited amount of air. I think a human can live in it for like an
10
hour.
minutes.
Is it 10
10
minutes?
minutes.
Okay, so it wasn't even as much. So
And,
yeah, I
gets,
mean,
and gets more brief, the more people are in it.
so yeah. So as long as it's in the bag of holding, you're not bringing the scent with you.
So how about we go back and get rid of this,
Okay.
and then we can come back and explore. Because I don't want to have to keep
Keep in mind,
Yeah.
we'll probably end up having to camp tonight, head back.
right.
Then it'll probably take us a good 2-3 days to get back to this point.
Do you want to be carrying something that stinky around the entire time?
No, but I'm just one, it's in the bag of holding, and for another, I'm just letting you know about the time frame. That's all.
All right, Smegwick, you're in charge of the opening the bag. Of
I am not
holding
telling
and
you what to do. I am informing you of the
closing
timeline.
the bag of holding. That is all you, and anything that comes out better get a lot of cleaning.
Looking at
Yeah.
looking at Spitwood. How the fuck did this get on me?
Spitwick just gives you a picture of a face just pointing and laughing.
I informed of the timeline and suddenly on the asshole. All right, fuck me, I guess, huh?
You then get image in your head of your body with just a giant butt where your head is supposed to be.
That's just a thought, though. So
Okay, but if you, when have I said that anything that we've done so far is a bad idea? P.S. Everything we've done has been a bad idea.
I mean, he has a point.
And also, Allie was the one that pointed out it was a bad idea. And we got to this point anyway.
true.
So, if you guys do want to go
Bad
back,
decisions equals gold.
the question
Yep.
you need to answer
You,
me.
you
do
did say
want
touching
to,
the ruby was a bad idea.
Do you want to go back the same way you came, meaning going past the Otyugh corpse again, or do you want to circle your way around?
And maybe circle our way around so we don't lose our sense of smell again.
Yeah, I agree.
I would also point out that we need to keep an eye on each other because this place has an ambient background situation for
Oh,
misdirecting.
Mhm.
okay.
Very good
I'm
idea.
sorry, am I the asshole for pointing that out too? Just checking in. Okay.
Another image of an ass in your brain.
Come on,
Spitwick seems to be enjoying this.
Spitwick.
Fit with projection image of r/am I the asshole.
So, our honest party question: were we gonna go back? Was that the decision? Because that was just an idea that was thrown out there. Like,
Everyone
if we
seemed
want to stay and continue to explore, then
I'm Smegwick and I have both been fine for anyone wants to do. I was just giving out the information.
Yeah.
I'm okay either way. I can just easily see us pushing forward.
Yeah.
oh, I got a good idea. Why don't we use it
I highly
at
doubt that
night?
this is D&D.
It is. I was thinking, well, what if we take it out at night? We like put it near the edge of the campsite to like deter creatures.
And hope that
Actually, we might get some undead. That would be cool.
You're not helping your
no,
case.
Thank you.
So either which way.
Yeah, I mean we should.
I'm just learning that maybe we shouldn't have have someone from the Feywild pitching out ideas. That's all I'm hearing.
I think it's a
yeah.
great idea. Let's keep going, guys. Deeper into these mushrooms.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
There's an adventure on the other side.
No, thank you. Come on.
But we haven't been there before. We haven't been anywhere before. This is still really
Mm.
interesting.
Yeah, anyone want to grab him and as we go back to the like the holding area.
Essentially, it's a fort.
Yeah, the fort.
Oh, when we go back, we can pet Thomas.
That's true.
Minor
Run
illusion.
around a little bit.
Minor illusion.
Give-
Not a pet.
Get him some exercise. Maybe change his litter box.
I love how Aoi said that's true. She has been corrupted.
No. No, she's so pure.
Not
So,
anymore.
Kid, look, hey, listen to me. This is coming from me. Arai's not a good influence.
Yeah, you're right.
Keep in mind who's saying this.
Hi.
You're right. I'm
just
not
for context.
a good influence. I'm a fabulous influence.
You're an influence.
You may be
That's the
under
middle ground.
Influence.
I haven't had any of the mushrooms yet.
Mm,
No, I kept you from drinking the shroom juice, though.
yeah.
I wasn't gonna drink it.
Yes, you
You
were.
wouldn't let me get it up.
Just for
I
tasting.
wasn't gonna drink it.
Tasting is different than drinking.
The DM was about to ask,
me if
"Are
I
you
was gonna
gonna
drink
taste it?"
it.
Excuse me, this is not day
Which is why the
drinking.
answer
It's
was
called a
no.
wine tasting. Thank you very much.
Once I made you go taller, the others I
That means
made
it's
you go
totally fine to do it
smaller.
at 11 o'clock in the morning. We have cheese with it.
Which makes it all the better.
So as you guys continue
Gotta
through the
wash down
forest,
this cheese with something.
kind of circumventing where you were, where the Atieg was before. For the first few hours, and you think it's going to take you the better part of the rest of the day and a little bit into the night to get to the edge of the mushroom forest. As you guys are traveling, again, the kind of overwhelming stench of the Atieg has dulled your sense of smell pretty strongly. And it was just recently that you started getting that faint scent of sweetness back. But as you get going, Arai, just because of your... Well, who has the highest perception?
Here,
What's your...
just perception.
Aoi, what's your passive perception?
Not good. Passive perception is 9.
9. Cool. Arai, what's your passive?
14.
14. Reggie?
Also 14.
14. And Smegwick?
12.
12. Okay. So Arai and Reggie, you guys both kind of start sensing this at the same time. As you're walking, you start to notice the smell of kind of sweetness very, very quickly becomes stronger. And at first you think it's, oh, I must be getting my sense of smell back. But it gets to the point where it is almost nauseatingly strong, overly sweet smell. If you've ever made like homemade caramel or something, or reduced down a syrup or something like that, that extremely sweet smell that tends to fill up your kitchen, that's almost acerbic in how sweet it is. You guys start smelling that, and Aoi and Smegwick, you guys start noticing it. Smegwick first, and then Aoi much later. You start smelling this just overwhelming, very sickly sweet, almost to the point of like so sweet it's kind of stomach turning. Like if you've ever tasted like marzipan or something that's just pure sugar. And very, very sweet. And as you guys start looking, the mushrooms themselves start looking a little bit different. You can start to see that they look almost like they're wilting in some places. And as you go,
Roll for initiative.
not yet.
No.
And this is really bad. Aoi, as you are walking, you don't notice until your foot is in it. You step on the ground, and your foot kind of breaks through the ground like thin ice, almost. and as your foot goes in, you feel it kind of sploosh into this kind of thick, sticky substance. And as that happens, this overwhelming scent of hyper sweetness just starts filling the air around you guys, stronger than the scent has been thus far. And Allie, as you kind of pull your foot out, it is covered in this strange, kind of bright orange and yellow sticky slime, kind of the consistency of like a thick honey, is just coating your foot at this point.
I tried to wipe it off on the ground.
Okay, as you do, you start noticing that around where your foot kind of broke through the ground, the whole area kind of starts to break whenever you try to scrape it off. So you kind of have to move about 15, 20 feet away to get to a point where the ground is firm enough for you to start scraping it off. And while you get a decent amount of it off, you still have this, kind of thin coating of effectively bright yellow and orange honey. Which you think you're probably going to need something
To wash
acidic
it off.
to get rid of it, because it is very, very much sticky and thick, like molasses. If you ever get molasses on yourself, it never goes away. You'll find it 4 years later.
And it'll taste just the same.
Molasses never goes bad.
Is it gonna impede my walking at all?
Not really. It's more just annoying than anything else, and it's very, very sweet. Like your everything around you just smells sickly sweet marzipan almost.
I like sweet stuff, but
Prestidigitation.
not really this much. Oh, thank you.
Sample it. Sample it.
No,
It's
thank
on
you.
her foot.
Oh.
There's still a kind of cavern that she broke into. If you want to sample some of it, you can.
Use your pike.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do.
Okay. Now, by sample, do you want to put it into a vial, or do you want to taste
Put it on a cracker.
it? Put that on a cracker.
Do we have some brie? Because yeah. No, put it in a vial.
Okay.
Very
You-
tempted to taste it though.
You do notice getting it to go into a vial is almost an exercise in futility. With how sticky it is, it doesn't matter what you do. You get some in the vial, but you get it all over the vial. You get it all over your hands. This is the stickiest substance you have ever dealt with.
You should have done it like honey, where you just dip it in, you spin
Yeah.
it, spin something up, and then you raise it up and you wait.
Wait, hold on. Does the vial have a cork?
Hold on, still waiting.
We're gonna be
Well, I mean,
here for about an hour.
Well, the same.
Yeah.
Smegwick
Salt
has
Bay.
Smegwick has he has some vials too.
With
I
honey.
swear I put it on there.
Yeah.
Smegwick will just take a vial. And he just goes, "Oh, we can just," and he goes like, and then while holding the vial, all of a sudden a ghostly apparition leaves his hand as Mage Hand goes like this, leaves his hand and goes,
Oh.
"Brrr," and then because it can handle up to 10 pounds, so I
Yeah,
would submit that
you
I could
can definitely do that. What's going to happen though is
submerge
the
and pull out.
outside of the vial is going to be covered in it as well.
Mm-hmm. Cork, prestidigitation.
Precipitation doesn't get rid of it.
Oh.
It'll get
Does-
rid of the smell, but for whatever reason, this prestidigitation doesn't seem to be getting rid of this.
Are we in an area where there's some more of that dew?
As you look around, you actually don't see any dew, but you are starting to see other. Some of the mushrooms seem to have like cracks in them almost, and there is a fluid leaking from some of them.
So since they're sweet and it smells sweet, the
This might be
ground
part of
is-
This might be part of the forest that's ripening.
Do we need to hold hands now?
Yeah.
I actually think that might be best.
Mm.
And I'm also gonna, I'm sure we got like something we would wrap the vial in just so it doesn't get like sticky and everything else and turn it like a the world's the worst.
Yeah, I
in
mean,
that
you
whole-
guys have
Leaves.
obviously there's leaves in that. You guys would have
It's gonna look like it's been in
More
the back of a
samples.
minivan. It's gonna look like it's been in the back of a minivan for 3 months.
oilcloth and stuff like that would be stuff that you would probably have for like your weapons and that.
Peppermint.
Where does Lego come from?
Lego. Somehow you have a sour warhead in there. I mean, they haven't been sold in years, and you somehow found a sour warhead.
They sell them.
Do they still sell them?
Yeah, they're still a thing.
I had no idea.
Yep, they still
There's
hurt
an
just as
Airhead
much
in
as
there,
you
too.
remember.
What were the ones?
Lemonheads.
No, there was these things. They were the ultimate snack for trading at lunch, but they were gummies that had like liquid in the middle.
Gushers.
Oh,
Gushers.
Gushers, yeah. Gushers were in the 90s. If you had Gushers in your lunch, you had pick over anyone else's lunch. Even the kids that got school lunches, they were willing to trade for some Gushers.
Any kid with school lunch was willing to trade for
I mean,
something that
valid
wasn't
point.
school lunch.
What I
Fun
was
dip.
talking more about was like the kids that got like chocolate milk as part of school lunch. You normally didn't trade your chocolate milk, but for Gushers, you might consider it. I was the
Elementary
weird
s-
kid that got school lunch every day, and I always got the
And
baked
breakfast.
potato, which I would get my baked potato, and then I would fill up one of the compartments of our trays with barbecue sauce, and we would just dip the baked potato in barbecue sauce and eat it.
You got a baked potato?
We
You
had
gotta put barbecue sauce on things?
Mhm.
In the 80s, actually, you could get stuff like that.
we
Bro, I was like handed a disintegrating cardboard paper thing with whatever mush they put on it and dried meat product.
Yep.
And then there was a little sweet tarts that you got in breakfast, and then you got milk that you had to check to see if it was expired or not by the time you got to your table. That was my school lunch experience.
I
Same.
went.
You
I
gotta
lived.
pick a full potato.
Yeah, I
Wow.
lived in a nicer neighborhood. We don't know how we lived there because we were dirt poor. Like we got special tickets that gave us free school lunches because we were that poor, and we were one of like a dozen kids in the entire school that got it. But yeah, we had like I'm trying to think of the stuff. We still had other like disgusting school, like we had the rectangle
Square pizza.
pizzas that were
Yeah.
disgusting, and the
How do
chicken
you fuck up
patties.
pizza?
Or like the pizza
It
on a
takes
bagel that was
talent.
just like
We also
Get
had
it,
this
though?
thing because because I ate school lunch so often, I got put on a committee to improve the school lunches. And one of the things that the lunch ladies hated is we'd serve garlic bread all the time. And the way they made their garlic bread is they would get these large, like stale loaves of bread, like French bread, and they would cut it, and then they would spray this disgusting garlic butter spray on it,
Yep.
and then cook it. And the lunch ladies hated making it, and kids hated eating it, and it was just disgusting. And the principal would not believe them, and so literally, they made us do this because we'd meet once a month when I was in, I think, 7th grade, and they had us fill out this form, and they specifically asked, "Do you like the garlic bread?" And it was like, yes, no, hell no, please, for the love of God, never let me eat that again. Or mauve. And
always the answer.
yeah, and being the kid that didn't want to make anyone upset, I was like, yeah, it's okay. Because again, my mother was the person that we used to have fire drills 2 or 3 times a week because she would burn the food and set off the fire alarm. So compared to some of the food I had eaten, gratefully, I was like, I've eaten worse. You guys don't set off the fire alarm every day. Like when we have fire drills, they're planned. So it seems nice. But yeah, one of the lunch ladies was a friend, was the mother of one of my friends. And she would just bitch and moan at home when I visit my friend. She's like, I cannot believe they make us serve this crap. Can't we do anything else? I'll make the damn garlic bread. So back to Dungeons and Dragons.
Yay.
Sorry, my brain is shot, guys.
It's fine.
making maps and all this other stuff today. It's been nuts. As you guys look around, you can see some of the mushroom trees seem to be kind of leaking and have some cracks in them. Looking around, Owie, now that you know what to look for, you can see a couple other areas on the ground that you're relatively certain if you put any sort of pressure on it, it's going to break.
Okay.
What do you all want to do?
This portion of the forest is breaking down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably best if we, get a safe distance away from this before it completely disintegrates.
Yeah, who knows how long this whole breaking portion of it expands. We might find ourselves in a spot where if we get stuck in that, we ain't never coming out.
Yeah, let's head toward the fresher looking mushroom trees.
I quite agree.
Okay. So as you guys are kind of backing out of this area, Reggie, give me a dex save.
Oh god.
Oh no.
Okay, saving throws, dex, that's at least my highest one, and that's a 21.
Hey
Nice.
now.
So as you guys are starting to leave, Reggie, you feel like this just very light pressure on your shoulder for a second. And you look, and you can see something is like thick and slimy has just kind of dripped on you. And you look
Oh,
up
God, is
and
there
you
Xeno-
see this large conglomeration of this slime just start falling at you. And you jump out of the way as this huge glop of it just lands on the ground next to you.
Oh no.
Owie, I
Yes?
also need a dexterity check from you, or a saving throw from you.
Okay. Yeah. 15.
15. Not quite as quickly as Reggie, but you all start looking around, and right above Owie is this large, molasses honey thing that just drops on her, and you have to dive out of the way. It gets a little bit on your feet, but you seem to avoid it mostly.
Like it.
Arai and Smegwick, as you guys are sitting there, you watch as the ground next to you kind of cracks, and you see two large kind of honey tentacles
Now, crap.
shoot out of the ground.
Go, 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 go.
And the first one is going to take a swing at Smegwick for a 20 versus your AC.
Just a second here. Sorry, I have to check this real quick. Is it 20?
Yes, 20 to
Shield.
hit. Okay. So you can see this like tentacle pseudopod come up, and it slams into it as it gets close to you. Again, you instinctively lift up your hand, and you see the shield come. As it hits the shield, you hear this as you watch as the magical shield itself seems to be kind of being eaten away by whatever this pseudopod is, but constantly kind of regenerating itself with your magical energy.
Go, 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 go.
Arai, does a 24 hit your AC?
Yes.
You are not quite as fast, and you feel this burning sensation as something slams into your back and hits you. You take 6 points of bludgeoning damage and 18 points of acid damage. And
Holy jeez.
I don't believe you wear armor, correct?
I don't wear armor.
Okay, so
No.
I am naked boy.
it does not damage your armor, but the clothing that are hit by it start to dissolve. So you have these little kind of pock marks and little holes on your back.
Aw.
And I'd like everyone to roll initiative for me.
Oh no.
God.
Girly
Wait.
shriek.
Hey, all right.
It's usually where I get screwed.
24. I rolled a nat 20.
Not bad at all, Owie.
Nice.
Because of the coloration on my digital dice, I thought that was a 3, but that's a 13. So I got 16.
16, cool.
Yes, 17.
I got a 22.
And Arai, you said you got a 17?
Yep.
Cool. And Reggie got 22. All right, so Owie, you are up first. As you look around, you can see those two things that fell, that tried to fall on you and Smegwick, are starting to kind of form this strange, almost like serpentine form, and seem to be looking towards you. And as you can see at the end of the kind of serpentine form, you can see kind of a pseudo face start to form at the end of it. It looks vaguely humanoid. And then you can see these two large collections of much darker liquid, closer to the color of actual molasses, that deep kind of brown, almost black color, that have just kind of seeped out of the ground and seem to be coming towards you and Arai.
Is it close enough that we can't back out of it without risking an attack of opportunity?
The dark colored one is far enough away that you can go. The one with the serpentine slime is close enough to you that you think you're in its attack range right now.
I'm going to use Eldritch Blast on the farthest one.
Okay. Did you want to aim for the dark colored ones or the snakish ones?
The dark colored ones.
And because you have one of those snake ones next to you, you would have disadvantage on any ranged attacks.
Oh, what? Oh, I wanted to aim for the farther one so I wouldn't have disadvantage.
So the way that the disadvantage works is if you're making a ranged attack while there's a creature within 5 feet of you, all your ranged attacks are at disadvantage. Doesn't matter who you're aiming for. And it's because they're there and they're like going, "Ooda go, do go, do go." So they're making it a little more difficult to sort of.
Sorry, how many creatures are there?
There's a grand total of 4. There's two kind of brownish black ones that are just kind of large, piles of pudding effectively. And then there's there's two kind of more serpentine ones that are still kind of slime, but they have more of a form.
Oh no. What is it with me and having to bite black puddings? Yeah, I'll do Eldritch Blast.
Okay. Are you gonna aim for the one next to you, or are you gonna aim for one further away?
I'm gonna aim for the ones further away.
Okay. So go ahead and roll with disadvantage on your 2 attacks.
That's a 15.
15 hits.
Okay. And roll again.
Yeah.
Alright. 11.
11 misses, but the 15 does hit. Go ahead and roll damage for the first one.
Okay.
Jeez,
10 points of force.
10 points of force. Cool. So, having to kind of dodge around the one that's right next to you as you bring up your hand to form an Eldritch Blast, this creature, acting very snake-like, actually tries to take a bite out of you. You have to dive out of the way, and as you do, your first Eldritch Blast goes out and hits it pretty well, but the second one, as you land, you kind of fire the Eldritch Blast off in the wrong direction, and it hits one of the trees. You can see the tree itself kind of bursts where you hit it, and you can see more of this bright orange and yellow honey-like stuff seeping out of one of the trees. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
No.
Reggie, what you want to do? You've got one of these serpentine creatures next to you.
Okay, let me see. Is it like right next to me, like
Yes,
melee range?
you had to jump out of the way to avoid it landing on you.
Okay. Okay, who's the Jody, who would you say is the party member closest to where Reggie is?
Technically, you'd all be kind of equidistant. You're all within about 10 feet of each other.
Okay. Because we need some hard hitters. So I am going to... Yes, that's what I was thinking there. I'm going to give you Bardic Inspiration. So I'll go ahead and mark that off. I'm not going to use any movement because since that thing's already at melee range, that's going to be attack of opportunity. But if I use my... Okay, Jody, I got really dumb question for you because for some reason I can never remember this. If I try to use a bow at melee range, it has like it doesn't work as well, right? Disadvantage, right?
Anytime you try to make a ranged attack when you have someone within 5 feet of you that's an enemy, you have disadvantage on the attacks.
Right. And does it cost an action or a bonus action or either or for me to switch weapons?
You can draw a weapon as part of the attack action. Stowing a weapon is an action.
Okay.
So to draw and stow a weapon. Generally, what most people do to avoid having to use an action to draw and then stow a weapon is they just drop the weapon on the floor, which is free. But that also means that you don't have access to that weapon until you go pick it up.
On the sticky floor.
Yeah.
Which I think is actually going to still work out a little bit better here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to just drop my short bow, and I am going to instead pick up my and I'm going to draw out my rapier and attack the slime right next to me using that.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack roll for me then.
17.
17. 17 is a hit. Go ahead and roll the damage.
That is 5 damage.
So, as you take your rapier out and you kind of thrust it into this serpentine creature, the first thing that you notice is the creature itself seems almost... sorry, just reading the sheet. The creature itself just seems almost unaffected by your attack. You barely do any damage to it. It seems to almost not care that you've just stabbed it with your rapier. It did take some damage, but definitely not everything you thought it should. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
Nope, that's it.
Cool. The one next to you, Owie, is... Yep, it's going to try. You see it kind of like get bigger, and it almost gets like a frill, like a cobra, and it tries to envelop you again. Go ahead and make me a dex save.
Okay. Oh, natural 20!
Yeah, you just kind of dance out of the way, and you watch it turn into this cobra and like attack you, and it splats on the ground, and then slowly forms back into its serpentine form. And it's kind of dumb. So that's all it's going to do. Arai! What you want to do? You got a big old pile of molasses next to you.
We have an oven anywhere? Can we make cookies?
Fire is the answer to everything.
Oh! I do have fire.
Oh!
So
and remember,
first things
you have
first.
inspiration.
I know. Actually, I definitely need to do this. So I asked you a question in chat,
Yes.
Jody, that was related to this.
Forced movement does not cause attacks of opportunity.
Okay.
So throwing someone, pulling someone, none of that would provoke an attack of opportunity. You only get those with voluntary movement.
Okay, cool.
If you have an ability like command and you command someone to run, that is considered voluntary movement because that character is moving. They are the one doing it. They may be doing it under your command, but it's still considered voluntary movement.
Okay. Well, I was going to tell her, but she walked away. I was going to see how dexterous she was to try and throw Aoi out of the way. But in the meantime, I will rage, and hopefully she comes back before I do that. Actually, can I hold that action until
Sure.
she comes back?
So what's the end goal? You want to kind of pick her up and just
Move-
kind of move her out of the way?
Get her out of range. Yeah.
Sure. What I'm gonna
Are,
have you
are
do?
you trying to Heisman Owie?
I'm trying to. She's squishier than I am, and this hurt a lot. So pretty much. No, I'm trying to like throw her out of the way.
So what I'm gonna have you do is make me a strength athletics check,
Okay.
and then since we have Owie back, Owie, Arai has decided that she would like to help you in your situation. So she's
Sorry.
gonna pick
Hold
you
on.
up. I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry. Arai has decided that Owie is in a bad position, so he is going to pick you up and toss you, if you have no problem with that, to get you out of range of the bad guys.
Okay.
All right, so
Hey.
no disadvantage
Consensual eating.
because Owie is not fighting it.
26.
26, yeah. Owie, you watch as Arai just kind of reaches over and picks you up by kind of like
And just says,
your collar, and
"Up
just
you
goes,
go."
and just kind of tosses you, and you kind of fly through the air a little bit. You're kind of impressed with just how far. You get about 20 feet away after you land, and you roll to kind of get rid of the damage, or get rid of momentum. And you're now 20 feet away. Arai, you still have a bonus action.
I'm raging.
Oh, you're raging. Never mind.
Yeah.
Cool. That is the end of your turn. Smegma.
Almost.
Oh, do you have something else you want to do?
My magic-y stuff.
Oh yes.
Oh, that's
don't
right.
forget your cool.
Roll for shenanigans.
Exactly.
Well,
All right.
roll for
What
arcane
shenanigans
bullshit.
do I have this time? Let's see. Oh wait, it's in D&D Beyond. Sorry. Oh. Eventually, I will have everything ready. I'm so sorry again.
It's D&D, D&D, D&D Beyond.
The place where you forget what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, cool. So, I get more of the fun shadowy tendrils coming off of me. And every time they have to make a constitution saving throw, every creature within 30 feet of me.
So,
Oh, I also gain 1d2 12 of hit points.
Owie, as you feel some pressure on your neck, you turn around and you not only see Arai has just become even more muscular and very
Cold.
angry at this point, you also see these kind of dark tendrils of shadows start kind of creeping off of him.
Whoa.
And as he picks you up, you just kind of see this darkness seething out of him, and he tosses you away, and you roll. And then Arai just kind of takes his large pike, kind of spins it around, places it in the ground, kind of dares anything to come near him. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
Can't do anything.
Smegwood.
Now, I'm sorry. I may need a little bit of visual reference here to try and get in place because it sounds like these things are all over the place and where
For
we are
you
at.
right now, you have one of the pudding monster things, the molasses monsters, is right next to you. Everything else
Yeah.
is within about 10 to 15 feet, except for Owie, who's about 25 feet away from you.
Okay.
So the only one that's in melee with you right now is one of the molasses monsters.
Okay. And I'm curious, like, if I move away, again, that's the reason why I was wondering about the visual placement. If I move away from it, will I be closer to one of the other creatures if I try and get away from this one that's next to me?
Like I said, the nearest one to you is about 10 or 15 feet away. So if you want to move away from one and get away from all of them, you can. Like, you can just circle around and get to the outside of this little conglomeration, or you can get
Okay.
closer to another one. What is your end goal? What do you want to do?
Well, right now, because again, I might need to know about placement later, but right now I'm trying to clear a spot, get away from me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use bonus action Nimble Escape,
Okay.
Scooch Bagooch, get away from these things, and try not to be too close to anything else.
Okay.
And then I am just gonna, right now, since I gotta get some try and do my best to get placement, and then I'm gonna use action for Eldritch Blast on the one that Owie is fighting, because Owie's done some damage to the thing, right?
So the one that Reggie is actually fighting got hit by Owie's Eldritch Blast, and Reggie stabbed it. So
Oh, so that's the same ones. Yeah, so I'll
yeah,
definitely
they
hit
hit
that
the
one.
same one.
Okay. 2 blasts.
Go for it. Make me some.
Oh, and
attack rolls.
I'm telling Spitty to just disengage, fly high. I don't
Yep.
want him getting near anything that has like acid touch. Okay.
He is circling the mushrooms.
Okay, first one's 14.
14 just barely hits.
14, and I'll go ahead and roll the other one. 14 and 21. Okay.
21 misses, unfortunately.
And,
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll me damage.
First one, first blast. Not so close. Let's see, that's 8 and 10, 18.
All right, so you guys watch as Smegwick, as you're sitting there with his shield up, and you hear. You realize the second the shield goes down, this creature is not just putting its pseudoped on it. The creature has now kind of enveloped your shield and is starting to come down. And you realize as soon as this goes away, you're going to be covered in this molasses. So quick thinking, you kind of turn the shield a little bit and you watch this whole molasses creature start kind of rolling away. And as you do that, you give it just the slightest push and drop it, and you watch the entire creature just kind of fall right next to you as you dive out of the way, roll. As you're running away, you kind of look back and 2 shots off to one of the slithering style creatures. It hits it, and it hits it hard. You watch big pieces of it splat against one of the mushroom trees, and another piece splats off. It's looking rough. It's having a hard time kind of having enough of it left there to keep its more serpentine shape, but it is still functioning. Anything else you want to do?
I have moved there. I'm just like, yeah, maybe moving away might be an option if we need to worry about placement.
All right. The one that attacked you. What do you have for speed?
I have 30.
Not you. This thing.
Oh.
Oh, it has less. Seeing as you're moving really, really fast, and Reggie just isn't, it's gonna go
Yeah,
after Reggie.
you heard bongo drums and Smegwick took off.
So you see it kind of rolling over itself, and it goes over to where Reggie is, and Reggie, you see one of these pseudopods shoot out at you.
Oh boy.
Does a 9 hit your armor class?
It does not.
So the pseudopod comes out, and as it's about to connect with you, you just move, and you see it connect with one of the trees, and the place where it hits the tree, you see this, you instantly hear this, and you see a rather large hole in the mushroom where the pseudopod is just left. And this is another thing that is not particularly smart.
That's what Smegwick yells out. Just a reminder, you bruised like a Georgia peach.
I am aware.
Oh, you're in melee.
Reggie,
I don't want to be in melee.
I also need a dexterity saving throw as the serpentine one that's trying to keep itself together tries to envelop you.
Oh boy. Dexterity saving, you said?
Yepers.
Okay, 18.
Again, dodge underneath it, slams into the ground, starts reforming, but there's just not a lot of it left there. The last one is going to turn towards... Oh, all of these are supposed to be taking damage, aren't they?
Yeah.
What-
So they have to roll for Constitution saves.
Con saves. Cool. So... Only 3 of them have to do it because the other one went before you did your thing.
All monsters within 30 feet of me.
Yes, but I'm saying the other one had its turn before that
attacks
activated,
first.
so it won't
Gotcha.
it won't actually take that until its next turn. So con save.
If it was
I can click
still
on
within
this.
30 feet of me at the time, it doesn't matter when it took its turn.
So wait a minute. Does it say at the beginning of their turn or just when it activates?
Each creature that you see within 30 feet of you must succeed on Constitution saving throws or take 1d12 of damage.
Oh, so it only happens once. It's not an every turn thing. Never mind. Then all of them have to do it. Thank you for reminding me. I thought it was an every turn thing.
That's the other ones.
So one
lot
of the
of them.
molasses monsters gets a 7.
Okay.
second
he
one
takes
gets
9.
a 12.
Okay. So he takes 6.
Oh wait, no, those are the two serpentine things. So the two serpentine things failed, I'm assuming. The molasses monsters, the first one gets a 22, second one gets a 21.
Okay, so the weaker ones, the one takes a 9 and the other takes 6.
The one that was harassing Reggie, as one of these tentacles comes up and kind of slaps it, it disintegrates and kind of melts into nothing.
Yay.
The other one still looks okay. And then the molasses monster next to you, Arai, is going to try and pseudopod you for a 19 versus your armor
Hits.
class. So 6 bludgeoning damage and 18 acid damage. And again, you can see it's kind of eating through your clothing pretty badly. And that's all it does. Owie, you are 20 feet away from all this nonsense. What do you want to do?
Okay, I'm going to do Eldritch Blast at the other black tentacle.
Okay. Did you so you want the molasses ones, or did you want the other serpentine one?
The other serpentine one.
Cool. Go ahead and make me try this again. Attack rolls.
Okay. That's 21.
21 hits.
Okay. And 14?
14.
15.
Okay, 15 hits.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll damage for me.
So 6 points of force damage altogether.
So, Owie, as you sit back, you pull your rapier out, and you fire 2 Eldritch blasts, and hits another 2 pieces off, but you just kind of nick it on the sides. You're not taking massive pieces off. Anything else you want to do?
Nope.
Reggie, you have got a molasses creature. The serpentine thing that was near you has disintegrated. But the molasses
Nice.
creature's still there.
Nice. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so this other molasses creature, like, how many feet is it away from me, like, exactly?
It's right next to you,
Right next to me.
because it just
Okay.
just attacked you with one of its pseudopods.
Okay. See, I'm trying to figure out if this would be a good idea. Is there anyone else, like, in melee range around me?
In melee, no, but Arai's about 10 feet away with her own little pudding buddy.
As
Him, I'm so sorry.
I love
Alright,
that
that's
you
why I
made a
made the
little
sign.
I'm
I had
trying so
post-it
hard.
notes that was here the past couple of times, so but it wasn't seen, so I
I'm
decided to
trying.
make a sign
I
this
really
time.
am trying hard.
I know,
swear to you.
and that's okay. 'Cause that's why I have a sign now.
hey.
I'll just keep it lower so no one else sees.
Arai, how
you
m-
play 2 different characters in 2 different campaigns that have 2 different sets of pronouns,
I know.
and I'm so much I'm so much more familiar with Arel. I'm even calling her the wrong
They,
name
them.
now.
A row.
Now, Aral. Talking to the caterpillar again, I see.
So, Reggie, what you doing? I need something
Okay.
from you.
I know I have an idea, but I was waiting for an opportunity for me to ask this question. Arai,
Sure.
how much HP do you have?
I am half health.
Which is what? What's the
52.
number? 50. Oh, then this. Ooh.
Several Reggies.
I'm a little up.
I am 2.5 Reggies.
Nappa here's worth 5 radits. Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna hold off on this then. I'm just gonna focus on the slime that's closest to me. So he just tried to attack me. Do I have
Could potentially
any-
use another shirt at some point.
Reggie just rips off his shirt like Chris Pine and into the woods.
Here you go.
Yeah, here you go.
You get pieces of his shirt as he rips it.
Mhm.
Just starts putting it all over the hole that he sees.
Okay, okay, you know what? I can't really do much because the idea I had possibly would have really, really hurt Arai, so I don't want to do that just yet. So instead, I'm just going to attack this slime with my rapier again.
That's okay. I take half damage right now.
Oh, you do?
Well,
From
depending on
physical,
what- yeah.
anything
this ain't-
non-physical is going to be full damage.
Oh yeah, this would have been non-physical. Okay. I am going, so I'll use my action to attack with my rapier.
Okay.
That is 22.
22 definitely hits. Go ahead and roll the damage.
7.
7. Okay. And what you're using a rapier, right?
Yeah, rapier.
Okay, cool.
And then for my bonus action, I'm gonna give
As
another.
you thrust
Oh,
into
sorry.
the creature itself, bits of the creature kind of splash on you. You take 4 points of acid damage, and you see your rapier itself starts to crack.
Oh, no.
You have a
What?
-1 penalty to damage rolls with that rapier going forward.
That's what I was afraid of.
I end my turn by giving bardic inspiration to Smegwick,
Okay.
and that's it.
The serpentine thing that used to be after Aoi has realized that Arai seems to be a much more viable target since he's closer. So, thank you, phone. I need a dex save from Arai.
Do you have advantage on that as a barbarian, or?
Do 17.
17. 17's good. Again, it kind of creates this kind of cobra hood, tries to envelop you, and you just kind of lean back slightly as it splashes on the ground in front of you. And it's done because it's dumb. Arai, what you want to do? Bad Arai, bad Arai. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when we come for you?
I am going to. Oops, I gotta select that.
Well, for anyone wondering, there are like 4 different places where Arai has his pronouns that I somehow miss every single time. So this is not a checks thing. This is 100%. I have reminders on 3 different screens in front of me.
You have a lot going on. It's fine. So, where is everyone right now? Sorry, I know you just. gave
so
this
right
description
now,
to Smegwick, too.
There's a molasses and a slime snake next to you. About 10 feet away is Reggie with another molasses creature. Both Smegwick and Aoi are Aoi's about 20 feet away. Smegwick's about 30 feet away from where you guys are. Does that make sense?
Yep. So I am going to base step to where Aoi is,
Okay.
and he's going to take damage because I'm magical and fantastic.
You have 2 things next to you, so they would both make saves,
They would both
correct?
take damage. No, they take damage.
Oh, they just take damage. Ignore what I'm
They just
saying.
take damage.
How
Yeah.
much damage do they take?
I'm checking right now. I
If you
believe
guys
it's
didn't know
4
you would
fire
get this
damage.
many different songs going simultaneously. I mean, Jax is singing, I'm singing, the music's singing. It's amazing. You said 4?
All the singing things. I think it's 4 damage.
And what kind of damage is it?
Fire.
Fire. Cool. So the molasses one, as you go away, And you see this little brief explosion of fire. The molasses one, you see it singes the molasses a little bit, but it's kind of fine. The serpentine one, as the fire hits it, whatever the slime is made of catches on fire. And you watch as this large kind of explosion happens and the fire rips over this creature. And it gets very badly burned from it.
Ah!
Figured that was gonna happen. Burn the sugar. Okay, and then while I'm away, I am going to throw.
You suddenly smell almond for some odd reason.
Oh, yum. I love almonds.
I don't know why, but burnt sugar to me always has like a nutty smell to it. With
That's
a
fair.
point right before it's burnt, where it's browning, but it's not quite to the. Because burnt sugar stinks really bad,
Yeah.
and it ruins
Yep.
pans too.
Yep. So I'm gonna throw a javelin at it.
Go for it.
And use the bardic inspiration on that. So why did I roll with that? I'm such an idiot. Gosh
Why did
darn
I roll
it.
with the bad dice? I'm not kidding here. Wizards of the Coast, if you guys are watching, electronic dice jails. Make them.
Yep. Yep.
You will earn $1 million.
Yep.
Digital dice jails.
16.
16? 16 does hit. Go ahead and roll the damage. Were you attacking the molasses or the slithering thing?
Whatever one is on fire and not happy about being on
The
fire.
slithering thing is on fire and not happy.
Slithering thing it is. All right.
The
Slithering
fire
thing it
goes
is.
out pretty quickly, but it looks like it's vulnerable to fire.
So 8 points of damage.
8 points.
8. Hold on. 11 points of damage. I'm sorry.
Never mind. It's not
Raging.
8 points. It's
Raging.
11 points of damage.
It's 11 points of damage. And then again. Nope, not rolling with that. See? 17.
17 does hit.
So much better. Stupid thing. 11 again. Yeah.
Now I do have to mention, the bonus damage you get from rage is only on melee weapon attacks using strength. Ranged attacks.
Javelin is a melee weapon.
I believe
You're
you use strength, doesn't it, right?
No, because the specific phrasing is when you make a melee weapon attack,
Yeah.
which I don't like I don't like the words that they use because they're dumb words. But they have ruled many times that melee weapon attack is an attack with a melee weapon, not a melee attack with a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So ignore what I'm saying. You're 100% right.
Yep.
I forgot
so,
that there's that distinction, and I have written tristies on that distinction.
You also helped build this character.
Well, the
he didn't give me the javelins.
The javelins were just part of the initial character. You get them as part of building a barbarian. You get them if you take the regular weapons or the equipment pack. So the javelin was not something we planned on. We built this
Although
really
once
cool
I found
pike
that
thing.
out.
We had this really cool pike.
That
thing.
has glowed once. Been in many dangerous situations. Just glowed once, you guys.
Well, you had advantage when you rolled.
My parents gave me a defective stick.
You had advantage on your initiative check, and you weren't surprised. I will say these particular creatures, you actually can't tell that they're there until they have special magic stuff that makes them impossible to see. But
How you burn them. So
You're,
that, so that one takes 22 points of damage total.
how did you? Oh, sorry. Give me the second amount of damage because I've already taken off the first.
11. They were
11.
both 11.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Because it was like 22. How did you get 22 in a single hit? Oh, because it was 2. It's dead. Like, you
Alright,
throw the
fair.
second one and just, and it's all over the floor. Both of your javelins are just sticking in the ground now.
I wonder if they taste like caramel.
You could check that next.
I could. End my turn.
Smegwick, what do
Alright.
you want to do?
Okay, so how many are there left now?
Just the 2 molasses creatures. One that used to be next to Arai, and the other one that's next to Reggie.
Okay, so just the two brown black ones.
Yep, just the molasses ones.
Okay, well, that's easy. That was quick. So the one next to Red, because Reggie's in trouble. Like, Maybe don't stick your sword in something that's acidic. And what I will do, see, do I have anything? Because I have to remember, I spent a lot of sorcery points, and we have not had a short rest. Okay. I need a long rest for that, too. Okay, so I
Yes, we should have taken a short rest. No, because we are near a septic tank creature.
Well, and someone wanted Krabby Patties for later.
I could have rested while I was cooking.
Yep, I'm just going to go ahead and I will. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and just do 2 Eldritch Blasts on the one that's tussling with Reggie.
All right, give me attack rolls.
25 and 12.
Both of those hit.
Oh, both hit. Okay.
The piles of molasses seem to be significantly easier to hit than the snake ones.
Ah, 6 and 6.
Oh, you got double
So-
ones.
Smegwick again fires 2 more Eldritch Blast off, taking more pieces of this off. As the pieces get knocked off, they sizzle for just a few seconds as they hit the mushrooms, and then they seem to be inert shortly after that. Anything else
And
you want to do?
then I will use my bonus action to use one of my spell slots from my warlock side, and I'm going to recover some sorcery points.
Cool. So you watch as Smegwick kind of sits there and he kind of
That's enough.
moves his hand, and you watch him actually kind of draw some power out of his right hand and kind of infuse it into his left. First creature that's next to
That one
next
that
to
one
Reggie is gonna try and.
That- is still alive. Crap.
Oh yeah, they haven't been
Yeah.
hit a whole lot, and they're kind of beefy. They just also have a really low AC. Yeah, it's gonna try and smack around Reggie. That's a nat 20.
Oh no.
So you take 9 points
Oh,
of
no.
bludgeoning damage and 36 acid damage.
I'm down.
Oh no.
And the armor do you wear armor?
Yes, we bought him some.
I believe
I
it's
got
kind of light armor.
I,
Leather
I've
armor?
studded leather.
Okay.
Is that masterwork stuff?
Unfortunately, since it's non-magical, the AC for the studded leather is now permanently 1 point lower. And that ends its turn. The other pudding.
Smegwick and Spitwit simultaneously, because they get same brain cell.
Because everyone else is so far away and they are so slow, there's nothing else they can do except eat the meal that's in front of them. So it's going to take a swing at Reggie again with advantage because he's unconscious.
Oh no.
Well, the first one's an 8.
Even though I shot it, I don't know if that matters at all.
But it can't get anywhere near you. You're so far away that it can't get anywhere near you, and it has food in front of it. Yeah, 24. Luckily enough, damage is just damage. Normally it would be a single failed save. Because it's within 5 feet of you, it counts as a crit, so that counts as 2 failed death saves. But that's both of their turns. There's no other creatures left. But you guys can see Reggie has now kind of been enveloped by both of these. In addition, your armor takes another -1 to its AC from it kind of eating away from the acid.
Hey, chat, now would be a nice time to remind everyone that TJ Tail points can be redeemed.
Yes, if anyone wants to redeem healing, it instantly works. They don't have to drink, like if you buy a potion, they don't have to drink it. It just magically appears in their mouth if anyone wants to do that. That being
So-
said,
So he's actually like enveloped between these two, or in these two creatures, or
They haven't
between these two
enveloped
creatures?
him. They're kind of on top of him. You can still see like his legs coming out from beneath it. Like
Okay.
they're trying to eat him effectively right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Owie,
Mm.
you are up next. What would you like to do? Again, you're roughly about 20 feet from where they are.
How far away is Reggie?
About 20 feet.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna go to him and
Nope. Arai's gonna grab you by the scruff of the neck.
I will say you can suggest that she not. As far as physically stopping her, I'll say you can't really do that on someone else's turn.
Yeah.
Alright, Arai is going to attempt to grab you by the scruff of the neck.
You can say something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can say whatever you want. If you want to tell her why she shouldn't go, that's perfectly fine.
I'm trying to keep Reggie from dying. I'm gonna use
By die.
my potion of supreme healing on Reggie.
Okay, so you after Arai kind of go, hey, you blow past Arai, run over, shove the poster supreme healing in his mouth. That is 10d4 plus 20 hit points. Reggie, if you'd like to roll that, you can.
All right, so 10d4
Plus 20.
plus 20.
Yeah, supreme healing is a big one. It does take your action to pour a potion into someone else's mouth.
Yeah, that's something I'm willing to risk.
So you still have a bonus action, and it took 20 feet of your movement to get there, so you still have about 10 feet of movement.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're gonna get fancy, you can show off your cool lightning step.
No. I'm going to save my spell slots.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay.
Okay.
Eh, that's my turn.
Reggie, you are no longer unconscious. You are prone though.
Okay, but I still get 10d4 plus 20, so the 10d4 was 26, so plus 20, that's 46. But then again, my max most HP is 39 anyway, so...
So yeah, you're just at full hit points.
But I'm on my back.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I'm inside one of those things.
Oh,
You're
God.
not. They're next to you and they're hitting you with their
They were
pseudopods.
tenderizing you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Them being on top of you is more of a flavor thing.
One of them's holding me up, the other's just boxing me like Rocky with a slab of meat.
If you want to stand up, that's just half your movement. And then you can do whatever else you would want to do.
Yeah, I'll wait until my turn.
Oh, it is your
It
turn.
is your turn.
It is your turn.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's my
It's your
turn.
turn.
Okay, then yes, I am going to use my action to stand up.
Okay. Well, that would be half of your move. Your action
That's
is
fine.
separate.
That is fine. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay.
So I got 2 slimes on either side of me, right?
Effectively. But you also have an owie next to you now, too.
Owie, how much health do you have?
I'm at. See. I'm full.
All right, perfect. Then this will be how we're hopefully going to end this. I think it's time I use something that I haven't used in many, many sessions ago. I'm going to use 3rd level Thunder Wave.
Okay.
So both of the slimes and Owie need to make a Constitution saving throw of 16.
So Thunderwave doesn't explode
It's a
omnidirection
square.
from
It's
you.
weird.
It shoots. It's directional. So you can actually hit both of them without touching Owie.
Oh, okay.
That's
That's
that weird.
good.
Is it weird when it's a square, right?
Yeah, a wave of thunder's force sweeps out from you. Each creature in a 50-foot cube originating from you must make a Constitution
So
saving.
the way it works is you get a 15-foot cube, so a 3x3 square, and you have to be on one of the edges. it doesn't radiate out from you. It's not radial, as in it goes all the way around you. It is still directional, but it's a 15-foot cube. So what I'm saying is you can hit both the slimes and not hit Owie.
Okay.
Because Thunderwave used to be a cone.
Yeah,
Now
it
it's
used to
just
be.
a square, but it's still
Okay.
directional.
It's always the originating from you part of the description that screws with me.
Yeah,
Okay,
it just means
so
that you have to be on one of the sides.
okay, so I will take.
Unlike
So I'll
something
use
like
the other.
Shatter, where you can just place it wherever you want.
Okay. Okay, then I guess would I have so if I'm gonna like shift myself over so that I hit just the slimes and not Owie, is that gonna use the other half of my movement, or do I just have to like face another direction or something?
We'll say it takes 5 feet of speed to
Okay,
get to a
that's
spot where you can be.
that's fine with me.
So they're con
Third level.
saves, right?
Con save of 16.
Well, the first one is 5.
Yes.
Second one significantly better at a 6.
Hey
So
now.
both fail.
Go for
Go ahead
it.
and roll your damage.
That is a 16 for both of them. Reggie just gets up, flips up to his feet, and he's like, I liked that rapier and these clothes, and he just slaps his hands together right at the slimes.
Awesome. So you watch as he does that, and he slaps his hand, Incredible Hulk style. As you see this huge wave of force. You watch both of them fly. Is it 10 or 15 feet?
It is 10 feet.
You watch both of them fly 10 feet away and kind of try and regrow themselves and gather themselves up. As you see where they're blown, you can see this kind of trail of decay and destruction as everything they touch seems to be kind of corroded by their very existence. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
I'm gonna end my turn by giving Bardic Inspiration to Owie.
Cool. All right. What you want to do?
Do we want to kill these? Do we want to get out of the way?
Kill them.
He has a vendetta. They damaged his clothes.
True. It damaged my clothes too. Good point. How far away are they from me now?
They were 20 feet away. Now they're 30 feet away.
Okay, perfect. Let's see. Should I do that again? Yep. I'm going to just throw 2 javelins at them again.
Okay. Go ahead and.
Wait, wrong one. Sorry, hold on. Oh, there it is.
I would say keep track of how many javelins you have because you've used
I know
2
I
already.
have been.
Okay,
I
just
know
making
I
sure.
have been. Yeah. Let's see. Why is my brain failing right now? 23.
23
What
definitely
is the
hits.
brain?
I'm gonna give you guys a little insider
11.
information. They have an
Hey,
AC of 7,
Yeah.
Ah,
I rolled 12 and I hit him.
so yeah. Unless I'm thinking most of you guys, unless you hit a nat 1, you can't miss them. Did you get a nat 1? Was that
Can't
a
see.
20?
I got a 20.
And it does piercing damage, right?
Huh?
And the javelins do piercing damage.
Mm-hmm.
So
So,
I'm gonna
Oh,
let you
Lord.
figure out how much piercing damage it is this time, so you can get more used to how this works.
all right. Let's see. It's. No, wait. It's 6. Sorry. No, it's not. Yes.
No, I believe.
I'm
I
sorry. That's the wrong
believe
one. No, I'm wrong. My pike is 10. My javelins are 6.
You. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, you have the
I
right
know.
number of dice, though.
Right. So 17.
17.
Hold on.
17.
Nope, not done. Not done. My brain is failing. Sorry. Hold on. Fail.
Brains are hard.
25. There we go.
25.
Dang.
Christ.
Where'd the
So that's
extra? Where'd the
one.
extra damage come from?
Plus 8.
Where'd you
Oh,
get-
no. It's plus 4. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
So. Minus 4. 21.
21. Cool. That's-
Yeah, my bad.
Don't worry. I just typed 252. So
Perfect. I'll take 52. And then the second one is 12.
12 damage.
Yes.
I'm going to say each one of these things that have hit it is corroding the lance itself.
Yeah.
So they all have a -1 permanently to their damage
Yep.
rolls.
Yep.
Cool. Anything else you want to do?
That's it.
Cool. Smegwick, what you want to do?
Okay. All right, that's enough of this horse crap. We're gonna move this right along. Those lovely sorcery points I just got back. Smeg was just like, just quicken spell, Eldritch Blast 4 times.
Okay.
Mm.
Go ahead and roll each one individually and give me damage individually
Yeah, I figured we were
before
gonna
you roll
the
the
spot.
next.
Yeah.
Yes.
21,
21 hits. Go ahead and roll damage for that one.
and that one is 12.
As you fire the first Eldritch Blast, the first one of the blobs that has 2 javelins sticking out of it just gets hit, and you hit the very center of its mass. So you watch it kind of splat, sizzle for a little bit, and then become inert. You got 3
Okay.
more.
More shots. Do that. Second shot. And a 19. Okay, that's 28 total. That's blast. Number Wang. That's 8 points.
For the rest, cool. Go ahead for the other 2 then.
Okay. Third shot. even if I were to use inspiration, that's a miss. That's a nat 1.
Yep.
No.
Unfortunately. Last one. Fun fact, even with a nat 1, you rolled higher than its AC.
Yeah, but nat 1's a nat 1 is a nat 1.
Yeah.
Okay, dirty 20,
Okay.
and that's a 14.
Okay. So, first bolt goes off and just shatters one of these. 2 more bolts go off, and it hits large pieces of this molasses monster that are getting flung around. It's not looking great for it. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
That's everything.
Okay. The molasses monster is going to run away as fast as its little molasses body can take it, which is only 40 feet when it dashes. But it has gotten between some mushrooms and that to where it's difficult for you to see it effectively as 3/4 cover against you.
No, you don't.
And that's all it does. Owie, what you want to do?
You don't. Not after you ruined my clothes.
Um, oh no, you don't. How far away is it?
40 plus 30 is 70.
Eldritch Blast.
Go for it.
Alright.
As you sit there and you take your rapier out, you kind of look down the end of the rapier, close one eye for a second, open it again, take a breath, you pick up some dirt and drop it in the air to see how the wind is going, despite the fact that Eldritch Blast isn't affected by wind.
Yeah. 25 for the first shot.
Definitely hits.
And
Part of me wants to imagine Smegwick rolled a nat 1 because he heard Grexy's scream sharpshooter.
Sharpshooter!
What? The fuck?
Yeah, ducks.
and then she did it again. I rolled a nat 1 too for the second shot.
Sharpshooter! It is from now on, anytime anyone else misses, you just hear a sharpshooter!
Should I roll damage now or after the action surge that I'm about to do?
Go ahead and give it all the damage at once. It's got enough hit points that 1 Eldritch Blast isn't gonna kill it.
Okay.
So after
damn it.
firing first and hearing sharpshooter and going wah, you watch as Aoi kind of centers herself again, resets up, brings her arm up and places her rapier on it to kind of steady it, and fires off to the 2 more Eldritch Blasts.
There was something I forget to do every time.
18.
18 hits.
And Uh, 9.
9 hits as well.
All right.
So let's get damage for effectively 3 Eldritch blasts.
Yep. Come on. Ooh, that's good. 17 points of force.
So grand total 17?
Yeah.
Excellent. So out of the 4 shots that you go, 3 of them hit directly on the mark. The 4th one gets hit by one of the trees, the mushroom trees in the way, and just kind of deflects off. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
Nope.
Reggie, what you want to do?
All right. I don't really have much, and obviously I'm not going to use any of my weapons. So instead, on that last slime,
If you shoot it, the only thing you lose is the ammo. Like your bow won't take any damage from this far away. You just
I know, but
lose the
I
ammo.
know, but I dropped my bow, and I don't want
yeah.
to spend a whole action picking it back up and arming myself with it. So instead, I am going to use. Do I have any other attack spells? I'm gonna use Vicious Mockery on it.
Go for it.
It needs to make a Wisdom save of 16.
Molasses monsters, well known for their high wisdom scores.
Yep.
It rolled a 15 on the die, which turns into a 13 for its check.
That'll have him.
Go ahead and roll damage.
5 points of psychic damage.
What do you
All
say? What do you tell a gelatinous entity?
Oh, I totally. That's hilarious.
Did the vicious mockery kill it? That would be awesome.
No. Because of how my brain works, I saw the number, and I just did the math in my head, so I knew how many hit points it was gonna have left. And so I typed in how many hit points it was gonna have left, and then clicked on damage.
Oh,
And
no.
So I flipped the numbers. I just find that really funny.
No.
It took the damage.
Okay. Reggie just says something like, "My piss is more acidic than you."
It
You need to say cleric.
You seem to strike a nerve. You think this probably is hinging on some childhood trauma for this molasses creature.
We need to
All
take you
the
to a cleric.
childish drama. I think so.
All right, what you want to do?
Counselor, goodness. I am going to. Let's see.
So
You're gonna
three-quarter
need to start
cover
drinking some-
effectively means it adds 5 to its AC.
Reggie,
Right.
you need to start drinking some cranberry juice.
To make it more acidic, you need some baking soda water. Balance that out.
Just all the water.
Suck on
Let them
some
eat
lime
cake.
rock.
You put baking soda in cake, right? Cake has to be basic.
Now go suck on some lime.
With the lime in the coconut.
Oh.
Oh, wrong lime. You mean limestone?
Yes.
What you
So
would do, Arai?
I'm gonna have Arai. Let's see. Actually, I'll just have him. No, I'll have him move up about 30 feet
Okay.
towards it, and then use more javelins.
Okay.
So, 22.
So if you move 30 feet up, it'll still be
Yep.
40 feet away, which I think is in the long range of the javelin.
Oh, then I'll move 40 feet up because I have 40 feet of movement.
Cool. Then it's only 30 feet away.
Yep, perfect. Which is the range. 12.
12. 12 is just what you need to hit it.
Cool. No, I got 22, so 12 damage.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
If you roll a 12, it will still hit.
Okay, that's good.
So,
So then the next one's gonna hit because that got an 18,
Okay.
and so that'll take 11.
Claim your kill. Describe your victory, Arai.
Yay!
Yay! Exactly. Gosh. I don't know, because now it's just molasses blob and I'm throwing toothpicks at it. I kind of want it to just get impaled by the javelin, and it would be really funny if it like kind of stiffened up at the same time, like how when sugar gets really hard and it stiffens and you hit it hard enough, it'll shatter.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
So how's this sound?
Okay. Yes.
Arai sees the thing getting away. You look at the kind of holes in your beautiful clothing. Fuck this shit. Full run. As you're running, you lift up your first javelin. Boom! It goes straight through the mushroom trees, hits the creature center. As it goes in, it sticks in the ground and actually pops out the other side of it. And you watch as the creature itself starts wrapping itself around the javelin, and you see it start kind of climbing up and almost looking like rock candy as it starts to harden itself around the javelin in an attempt to break the javelin in half. And as you see that, you just go, and Arai picks up his next javelin, kind of twirls it around a little bit, tosses it up in the air. And you see this kind of burst of fire in his eyes. And as it comes down, he catches it, spins, and releases it. Goes, shatters into a dozen pieces as the javelin sticks into the mushroom tree further out.
Awesome.
However, it is very late. So
And I'll end this with some very bad news. These things are mostly liquid, so not
you
really
guys
gonna be
can
any-
figure out how you want to try and get
Yeah.
proof of that
Yeah.
next game, because it is
Yeah.
almost midnight here. So that is going to be where I end it for tonight. As always, if you missed any of this, I do upload all these to my YouTube channels, youtube.com/TraderJody. Upload them normally on Sundays. Otherwise, again, that's all for me today, and I will see you guys the next time. And quick reminder, hopefully Saturday, Realms of the Wild, one of the last episodes, or a game of Talisman or something like that. We don't know yet. But tune in Saturday morning. It's fun. Twitch.tv/Zelda Universe TV. We always have fun. Otherwise, again, bye-bye.
Bye.